Good afternoon. Welcome back. It is January and I'm very happy to be back with you. It's been a while since I've done my Mondays at 3 o'clock Facebook Live, so I wanted to say hi to my community. We had a wonderful December. I'm getting over a little bit of a sinus infection, which is why I sound like this. My body said it's time to slow down, so I spent a number of days in my bed over the holiday break. We had a really great and successful Facebook group in the month of December about finding joy in the midst of the chaos. And we had a masterclass online, which was wonderful. We now have a brand new group about putting down your phone and reconnecting with your life. That will be opened through the month of January of 2020. So my name is Jenny Mills. I'm happy that you are here. And if you are watching this, I want you to ask yourself if you are watching this intentionally, on purpose, or if you happen to be scrolling or you got a notification and that's how you got here. This is really important because during this short video, we're going to be talking about the first step in putting down our phones and reconnecting with our lives, which is about mindful awareness. Mindful awareness. So the 4 Mondays in January will be live at 3 o'clock, and the topics are as follows. Today we're going to be talking about getting honest about our phone use. Next week, we're going to be talking about changes that we can make to our devices that will help us become in a better relationship with them, less addicted, healthier boundaries. The 3rd January Monday, we're going to be talking about changes we can make in our environment. And the 4th January Monday, we save the doozy for last. We're going to learn how to actually be with whatever emotions that might be present that we're trying to avoid or temper when we're using the phone. Okay, so one more announcement before we get into content. I am really excited for the new year. We have some new school partnerships. We're going to be working with Upper Saddle River School District, and that's going to be really wonderful to be running the Everyday Mindfulness for Schools course there. We're continuing our work with Mountain Lakes and a number of other places. I have a really exciting project coming up in Philadelphia, which I'll tell you more about later. And lastly, this Wednesday, which would be the 8th, I will be doing the 1-hour session at the Artist Collective, which is in Westfield. So contact me for information about that to come for an hour of your day. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. So the first tip in creating a healthy relationship with our phones is to first understand that all of us are really striving to get to this healthy balance now. We've been with our cell phones enough to know that things can sometimes get out of balance, where we find ourselves on our devices all the time, on our devices when we should be sleeping, when we should be or could be spending time with people that we love, when we are feeling exhausted or we're feeling agitated. We turn to our telephones, our iPhones really, and our Samsung, our Galaxies, to try to either avoid what's happening or to help create a different environment mentally and emotionally than what we're currently experiencing. So the first thing we're going to do this week, this is my task for you, is we're going to first understand that this is not about taking something away from yourself, okay? This is about changing your relationship with something. As soon as you say, oh, Jenny said, no more cell phones, or, I have to do this, I have to turn it off, I have to blah, 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 fill in the blank. As soon as your brain hears that, it goes into this mode of clinging and it won't let it go. Okay, so we don't want to be punishing ourselves in any way. Rather, we want to think of this as a way of changing our relationship with something in our lives. Okay, so if you think about this in the dieting world, right, we try not to say we're not going to eat chocolate anymore. We say we're going to eat more vegetables. So it's almost like we're crowding it out. All right. So the first step that we're going to work on this week is building some mindful awareness around our relationship with our devices. Okay, so what do I mean by that? Well, first off, we need to get clear and honest about our screen time, okay? So if you have an iPhone and I have an iPhone, then you can see in the screen time, if you scroll all the way to the left and down, it now has a little app that shows you how much screen time you are consuming on a daily basis, how your time relates to the day before or your daily average. It shows you graphically which apps you're spending your most time in. And I would really encourage you to take a strong look at this because it can be quite eye-opening when you see that you've been on your phone for 3 hours of your day. You can think about what in those 3 hours was I not doing when I was attending to my device. You can see how many times you have picked up your phone in a day. You can see how many notifications that you get in a day or over the course of a period of time. So I want to just take a sobering look at our screen time by way of looking at, if you have an iPhone, your screen time in your phone all the way to the left and then scroll down. Or you can also download an app called Moment, which is a really excellent app that runs in the background of the phone that tells you how long you've been on your phone. You can set limits and boundaries on certain apps and things like that. You can also do that within the iPhone. But before we even set any limits or anything like that, all I want us to do this week is start to become more mindfully aware of what's actually happening. The only way we can make a change is if we acknowledge where we are now, okay? So the first thing is to look at your screen time. The second piece to this, once you look at your screen time, is to forgive yourself. Forgive yourself. And this is a really important part of this because, my friends, the tech industry has designed your phone and these apps to be addictive. Okay, when we're on certain apps, social media apps like Facebook or Instagram, that continuous feed, that kind of an app, it tells our brain to continue to go, keep going, keep going, keep going. There's no clear end in sight, as in when we're maybe doing a Google search and we see that there's 5 or 10 pages of results. When we get to that number 10, we know we've reached the end. The thing about Instagram, Facebook, and all of these other social apps is that there's actually no end in sight. And the brain has a harder time stopping itself from continuously feeding itself that energy, right? That dopamine shot that you get when you get a like and you get a comment or you read something that brings a smile to your face. So forgiving yourself is the second piece here, that we are where we are with our relationship with our phones. We are where we are with the amount of time we're staring at a screen. And we're going to just see if we can be okay with that. Because over the month of January, we're going to make a commitment together to ourselves, to our families, to reduce the amount of time that we're staring at our phone. Why? Because we're going to increase the amount of time we're spending with our families, with the people we love, on the work that drives us, okay? The third thing I want you to do is to notice and name how you feel when your phone gives you a notification, okay? So when that bling comes up, when that pop-up comes onto the screen that notifies you of something, I want you to pause before you check it and just check in. How am I feeling right now? Am I anxious? Am I excited? Right? Like, how am I in that moment when I get that notification? And also, how are you in the moments where you grab for your phone when you're just laying around, right? How are you feeling when you find yourself reaching for it when you're lying in your bed or reaching for it after a long day at the office? See if you can notice exactly how you're feeling right before you pick it up. So this first Monday of January, our only goal here for the next week, I'm challenging you and us and everyone here in my community to increase our awareness around our use of our devices. Look at your screen time every day. Notice what's happening. Notice the trends. Notice how it's different from last week. I'm not asking you to change anything just yet, all right? Secondly, forgive yourself. Practice self-kindness. It's okay. This is how it is right now. This is an addiction, and we are all somewhere on the spectrum, my friends, unless you don't have one. And the third thing is to notice and name your emotion, an emotion word, right? How am I feeling right before I grab for it? When I hear that text message coming through, or when I'm laying in my bed and, you know, I turn over to check my phone in the morning, right? Notice how you feel and name it before you grab your phone. That's really the baseline of where we're starting. We're going to start very simple and we're going to build from there. Next week, we're going to be talking about changes we can make to our devices to help start to change this relationship for the better, okay? If you haven't already done so, join the Facebook group so that we can kind of post about our progress and we can all keep each other accountable. And of course, not be online that much. Isn't that funny? But yes, I will talk about that as well in the group. So have a wonderful rest of your Monday. Thank you for being here. I look forward to talking with you guys some more again next week. Take good care.